Welcome to Canadian Justice. I'm Christine Van Gyn, and today we're talking about the new frontiers of consumer data collection, your car. Many of the latest cars have advanced technology that allows them to know where you've been, where you're going, to access your contacts, call logs, and text messages. Some cars come equipped with cameras. How is that data used? What are the legal limits on its use by car companies, including limits on the sale of that data to third parties like insurance companies? What are the limits on turning that data over to the police? Here today to discuss this are two experts, Sairam Sanathkumar from Torys and Eloise Gratton from Osler. Thank you both so much for joining me today. Now, let's talk a little bit about the technology itself because I'm pretty unfamiliar with this stuff. My car is pretty old. It is not a hot new sexy car. It doesn't even sync to my phone. So I am a bit out of my depth in having experienced anything like the new technologies that's available. So, Sairam, maybe you could tell me a little bit at a very high level about what are some of the capabilities of these modern vehicles? What type of uh, data is it equipped to collect and how is it used?
Sure. So there are very many kinds of vehicles that collect data from passengers or drivers. So there are connected cars, which are equipped with internet connectivity, and these are often built through, they have built in SIM cards or Wi Fi. Then there are electric vehicles that we know are quite popular nowadays. There are autonomous vehicles and automated vehicles, and usually these are used interchangeably, although they are different. They mean different things in non-legal parlance. So autonomous is where it does everything by itself. Automated is where certain functions are automated, but you still need a driver to do other functions manually. And then you have vehicles with advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS. So there are a few kinds of vehicles that can collect data, but nowadays, any vehicle that you buy in the market, it will collect some kind of data from you. Either the vehicle will collect the data directly from you, or a third-party system that is built into the vehicle, like your infotainment system, for instance, will collect data. So, I mean, even trucks and other kinds of vehicles collect data about the kind of driving that the driver performs, the trip length and braking patterns, and many things to do with the diagnostics sometimes of the vehicle. So there are various kinds of vehicles that collect data, and they collect all kinds of data, right? There's telematics data like your location, GPS, speed, braking, driving patterns, and these are useful for a variety of functions, right? For instance, for navigation, for fleet management, for insurance purposes. I think you mentioned that in the beginning, and then safety system data. So you have a broad range of vehicles that collect a very wide variety of data. To answer your question, Christine.
Yeah, I actually was in Texas recently, and it was the first time I've ever seen a fully autonomous vehicle that drives sort of like an Uber. It's not an Uber, but it's a ride you can hail that complete has no driver in it, and you sit in the back seat, and it takes you where you want to go. That was really surprising to me. So, Iram, are there any other kind of surprising features of this technology that people should know about to sort of preface this whole conversation?
Yeah. So the thing with vehicles collecting data is that it is most often quite useful for both the auto manufacturer and for the user or the driver or the passenger, right? Because when the system collects data about, for instance, airbag deployment or your braking system performance or collision detection and lane departure warnings, these are meant to enhance your safety mechanisms in the car or the vehicle that you're driving. And these are useful for crash analysis, for sometimes regulatory reporting, improving safety features through analysis of this data. So and sometimes the data is not used for legal purposes, but most often it is, and most companies understand these obligations. So when a user goes to buy a car, he or she wants some of these features, and these are some of the deciding factors,
Mhm.
that might make the difference between buying a car and not buying a car. So I think most people understand that. But just like our mobile phones, for instance, I think people nowadays understand that cars collect data or vehicles collect data.
Mhm.
Um, I think in the last few years, many of them
Right.
have understood that mobiles collect data, but I think awareness is just coming in about cars and how they collect data. But I
Right.
think it's happening as we speak. Yeah.
I want to talk in the next segment about what some of those legal limits on the use of the data is. We will be right back.